A warm welcome to you from wherever in the world you're joining us. This is Daybreak from Arise News, your early morning briefing with all the world news and information to start your day. I'm Adesua Omoruan.
And I'm Kenneth Nwume.
I'm Kichi Nana. Good morning. Coming up at 7, our daily COVID-19 update brings you all the latest figures and details of the pandemic.
And at 7:30, we'll have the top entertainment and sports stories. But let's catch up on the main global news now. Germany's Social Democrats have taken a slight lead in the election, but early results show that the race is still too close to call. The Christian Democrats are trailing in the poll, which will determine who will succeed Chancellor Angela Merkel and which coalition will govern Europe's largest economy.
The FDP has achieved one of the best election results in its history. This day sends a clear political signal. The political center was strengthened, the political fringes were weakened. The mandate for all parties with state policy responsibility is the citizens want a government to be formed from the center. The federal election gives the FDP a special responsibility. We do not underestimate the dimension of the challenges. Quite the contrary, but we are ready to make our contribution.
Well, the Arise special correspondent John Cookson, who's been following that election in Berlin, has more.
It's been quite an extraordinary day here in Germany because we have these exit polls now, which put the two main parties neck and neck, the CDU on 25% and the SPD, Social Democrats, also on the same figure of 25%. The other parties, the Greens, polling 15% of the vote. The FDP, that's the centrist Democrat Party, they got 11% of the vote. And the AFD, the right-wing party, 11%. And the left-wing party, Links, on 5%. I'll come back to them in just a moment because they might be crucial to what happens next here in Germany. What now needs to happen is that these parties must form a coalition. Now, who that will be and in what time frame, that certainly isn't clear. What we have are only exit polls at the moment. That's not the results. I stress that it's not the results. The results will come in overnight and tomorrow, and then we will see what the real true picture is. Now, the Angela Merkel's party, the CDU, have not done very well at all. They're down by at least 8% in polling. So it's been a pretty unpleasant day for the CDU, and also the prospects of Mr. Laschet, their candidate for future Chancellor of Germany. It's not gone well for them today. The Social Democrats have had a much better day, headed, of course, by Mr. Scholz, who you saw in my report. Now, what he has to do if he wants to become the next Chancellor, and it's going to take weeks, if not months, to sort this out. He has to form a coalition with another party. And we look first of all to the Greens, taking a role in government, probably now for the first time since 2005. It's a major moment for the Greens, who didn't do as well as people would expect them to do, according to opinion polls, but they did get 15% of the vote, which puts them right up there to be part of the coalition that's going to be formed for a new German government. So extraordinary day, really. Germany not seeing anything like it for decades now. The two ruling parties, according to the exit poll only, are neck and neck, and a lot of horse trading and political infighting and manoeuvring coming up in the next few weeks.
Well, John, like you said, this, of course, is not a final result, but the narrow margin means the German elections are at this point too close to call, and predicting the next government and chancellor is impossible. But, of course, this is indeed a significant gain for the SPD, I would say. They've actually are up by at least 8% on the last time, and it's a great loss for the CDU, who are down at least 4%. So yes, you're absolutely right. Up to big gains there for the SPD, which of course, given Mr. Scholz, their candidate for Chancellor,
a much better boost and increases his standing when it comes to negotiations. And as things stand tonight, and based only on those exit polls, it looks very much indeed like Mr. Scholz could well end up being the next German Chancellor. But you know, a warning at the end of that. What I've just said, nothing is clear at the moment, but it's looking that way at the right now.
Now, John, just before I let you go, now from what we see, this could, of course, be CDU's worst result in history from the way things are. But do you think that Angela Merkel's reign as Chancellor may have in any way affected the turnout?
Yes, I think so, especially amongst the young, the Germans who are in their teens and in their 20s now, and they've never known anyone else as Chancellor. She's been there for 16 years almost in power, and they're very keen talking to people in the last day or so. They're very keen for change, and they say, look, 16 years is long enough. It's time to retire. And that raises a question: do they want a clone of Merkel? In other words, Mr. Laschet to continue those policies? And it seems, because the CDU have done quite badly, according to the exit poll, it seems that the people do not want a continuation of the Merkel policies. But again, you know, this is all speculation. We really have to wait until the results come in. But if they confirm what the exit poll says, then I think that Mr. Laschet's future in politics is not looking good. I think that the party will turn on him and say, look, you weren't the right candidate for us.
Now, John, what impact do you think that this German election will have on Europe and Africa, particularly a country like Nigeria?
Yeah, that's a good question. Look, Nigeria is an important trading partner with Germany. Nigeria is Germany's second biggest trading partner in sub-Saharan Africa. Germany sends cars and rubber to Nigeria. Nigeria sends crude and cocoa to Germany. The trade annually is worth about $2 billion. And of course, the ties between Germany and Nigeria, I don't think will be so deeply impacted one way or another with the result of this election in the short term. Long term, it gives opportunity for the Nigerian government to increase its connection, perhaps, with a stable government in Germany after the elections have taken place. Now, as far as Europe goes, I think there'll be some worried heads of state in Europe at the moment because this uncertainty in the German election, Germany being the backbone of Europe, if you like, whilst there is instability here, and for sure there is tonight politically, then it's bad generally for the rest of Europe. But, you know, all things must pass, and at some time in the future, in the months ahead, Germany will have a new government and it will have a new chancellor, and I'm sure that whoever's at the helm then will steady the ship.